The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. Well, let me turn this on. That might help. Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast. My name is Trey with Ghost Tactical. We are live on YouTube with episode number 293. We are live on YouTube as always. If you're out there in the chat, go ahead and say something. We do not know that you're out there unless you do. We are going a different route this week. I've had a crazy busy week. Very tired, very long week. Could not do the show on Tuesday, so we decided to go Thursday, and I apologize if I am corking somebody else. It's what it is. So may the worst show win, I guess, if you will. But yeah, welcome to the show, guys. If you're out there and you want to text into the show, utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates over at Aegis Gun Care. That number is 530-364-4678. If you have a question for any of us, go ahead and tag myself or anybody on the panel, and we'll try to get to those questions, assuming that they're relative to the conversation, which isn't very hard. Let's be honest. The conversation goes down some weird paths, so pretty much anything is going to be up for grabs. So most things will be relative. If you're a veteran, really anybody, but especially if you're a veteran and you're in that hole, you're in the darkness, and you're looking for that light, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I cannot give you medical advice, but I might be a decent ear to talk you through some stuff. And more importantly, just listen. But if you are looking to get someone to get you some medical attention, remember two things. One, you are not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers out here that are willing and able to help you in a lot of ways. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255. Veterans, press the number 1. We are spotlighting, as always, the United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title United States Marine, see the website marines.com. And as always, we are a proud member of, I'm going to put the banner up here, of the Rapid Fire, the correct one, there we go, the Rapid Fire Radio Network and the Self-Defense Radio Network. Go check out all your favorite pro-gun, pro-2A podcasts over at rapidfireradio.us and selfdefenseradio.net. While you're out there, go check out our good friends over at Cape Gunworks. They're great people. Get some good deals over there. Go check out Cape Gunworks while you're at it. So let's take that off because it won't fit with everybody in this room, and it looks weird. So let's say hello to our esteemed panel. Well, there's Chris and a couple of losers, but from the weird ass state of Ohio, the only state in the nation that has 4 letters and takes 2 people to spell it, you got Chris from the 740. What's up, Columbus?
Hey, thanks, man, for having me on. Appreciate the invite. And yeah, ready to kick off my 3-day weekend now. So
that must be nice. Yeah, that must be nice. I don't know what that is. That'd be awesome to have. I like to have a day off. I got people blowing my phone up, you bastards. From the hot melting, I'm not even saying the melting pot. It's melting a pot in Arizona. Coming on us from 127 degrees, driving down the highway in Winslow, Arizona. Actually, he's standing on the corner probably in Winslow, Arizona. John.
Hey, what's up?
Soulless ginger bastard himself. What's up?
Well, it's a cold spell right now. It's only 96 today.
Oh, wow. You guys got some snow coming on or something?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to pull out my parka, all my cold weather gear because of this cold spell here.
Yeah.
So
I hope you survive the cold weather. Just trying to get snowed in.
I'll try my best.
All right. And riding shotgun, as always, the weirdo from the great state of Texas, the tactical leprechaun himself. What's up, Clove?
Yo.
I would ask if you had a shotgun of the week, but we just saw a premiere of the Tech 9. Damn, there's a lot of people out there that may not even realize that Tech 9 was still around.
I know, right? Well, technically they're not, but I hear you.
They're not being produced, but obviously they're still around.
Good luck finding one, and when you do, it ain't going to be the $300 I paid. That's all I got to say. Those are long gone.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'm going to start, Marcus. I'm going to star this question. We will absolutely. That'll be the first question we ask, but we've got some stuff we got to do. Do you have a shotgun of the week, my friend?
Yeah, I could bring something up. Because I recently learned, and it may have been even on your show, that Rim Arms, which is the new
on this show, I doubt it.
Yeah, no, I think I did. Rim Arms, which is the new Remington, is putting out a new 870 Fieldmaster. So
very nice.
I would haven't got a chance to play with one of those. They certainly have not been at any range days or anything we've gone to, so I hadn't had an opportunity to,
Are they going to be in Kansas this year? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't looked, honestly.
I haven't seen any lists yet. I don't know if there's even a list out there of companies that are coming, but
I don't know. Yeah, it would be.
You would think being September, getting close to hunting season, if they're going to have it somewhere, that would be kind of somewhere they would want to do, especially being in Kansas,
Yeah, right. Yeah. We know Kansas people, they have to like shotguns. They ain't got nothing else to do up there.
Well, they're the FUD Kansas. We're here in Arkansas. We're the AR Kansas. We're
exactly Kansas. Right. Yeah.
So, anyways, I know there's a lot of people probably got the notification. It's Thursday. What? Yeah. Like I said, I had an extremely long week, and all that. I wasn't able to get home on Tuesday night, so I said, well, let's do this Thursday. And plus I like Corking Gear Report. They come on in an hour, so I'll enjoy Corking them. But Marcus says his shotgun of the week is a Taurus Circuit Judge 410 and 45 long Colt. Absolutely a blast to shoot. I've actually never shot a Judge. I know that sounds weird, but everyone that I know that has them or has shot them said they're fun. I don't know if they're great firearms or not, but everyone says that they're fun to shoot. So we'll take.
So the I don't really classify that as a shotgun because the ATF and the government doesn't classify that as a shotgun. So
is it other? What do they classify it as? Another?
Well, it would be a rifle. The one he was talking about would be a rifle, and then the judge and the governor would be a
so the Circuit Judge is longer.
It's the rifle version, yeah. Gotcha. And my mom has one of those, and I am absolutely not impressed. We kind of settled on that because we figured that would be a pretty decent little deer rifle for her, close range and all. Thinking about all that, and it is the most horribly inaccurate, no matter what you try to put down the barrel, that I've ever seen.
Worse than a Tech 9.
And I get touche. Okay, noted. But rifle. There we go. Let me back up. Rifle. Tech 9.
There you go. Okay, all right.
But I think it has something to do with it's weird because it's a rifle, and maybe they're not all this way. Maybe just hers is this way. I don't know, to be honest with you. But it has screw-in chokes, which is weird for a rifle to have screw-in chokes. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it has something to do with just you're trying to cram too much stuff into a. But if Marcus has one and it's working for you, yeah, go for it.
To each his own, right?
Everybody has a story,
Yeah. Gerald Black out there says hi for South Carolina. Gerald is saying hello.
Whoa, he froze it up.
Hello. Was that weird?
Yeah. For you, maybe.
I don't know. Like, I saw Chris like go like retro weird stuff and then do the circle of death, and then mine went to the circle of death, and then I was like, whoa.
Yeah, froze with a weird look on your face. It was
like, oh.
It was interesting.
So Gerald Blacks is saying hello he says hello, hi for South Carolina. He is saying that's hey, I tell you what, that is an important thing. When you're saying hello for an entire state, I feel honored that we have the representative from South Carolina. As long as you are not friends with Night Strike, I am okay with that. So
we know some folks from South Carolina that might have a problem with that, but
I agree with that. Yes. He also says, who do you all use to insure your guns? We can go through this real quick. So for like carry insurance, I used to utilize USCCA up until a couple of years, and I don't have carry insurance anymore. For insuring my guns, mine are covered for my homeowner's policy. So I don't know what you guys do. You guys have a separate policy for your insuring your guns, or you utilize your homeowner's insurance or whatever? Go through the room, Chris.
Yeah, I got mine through the homeowner's insurance. I just gave him a list of what I got and what
now,
the
do
value
you have carry insurance?
Huh?
Do you have carry insurance?
I've never gotten it.
Because he might mean carry insurance. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
There's no context to it, so we're going to cover all bases.
It's a good question. I don't have any. I mean, I should probably get some, but
yeah, I had it for a while, and I mean, it's what it is. Ginger, do you? I'm going to go shit. Do you have carry insurance? Number one.
No.
And
everything is covered under my. Go ahead.
Oh, so I was going to ask you, do you have a separate insurance policy for your guns, or is it covered by homeowners?
I have one policy under homeowners, and then I have a separate policy just for them because the value of the collection is high, and my homeowners didn't want to cover it first. At least in Ohio, they didn't want to cover it. So when I moved out here, they changed their mind.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
For some reason. So it was weird.
I hear you. Clove. Now, if anyone that knows Clover knows that he's the Kid Rock of the, and I can't Kid Rock, Chris Rock of Rock. He's the Chris Rock of the firearm community. Don't believe in no insurance.
God.
But do
Kid
you
Rock?
have,
Let's be honest. Kid Rock probably ain't got no insurance either. Come
well,
on.
I guarantee he doesn't. No. I don't. Yeah. Man, Kid Rock. I'd like to hang out with that dude. I think he'd be a blast to hang with. But do you have besides? I mean, you've got like 1,300 guns. I mean, does your homeowners association
cover it? No. Oh Lord, no. I surpassed that a long time ago.
Do you have a separate policy or anything?
Yeah, I've got 4. I've got 4. Well, I got 4 total. NRA. I've got my the contents section of the homeowners, and it only goes up to so high anyway. Then so I had to get an additional rider, and I'm not real sure what company that's through because that's all in the paperwork with that. And then and then I've got an additional through a local agent. Gotcha.
Wood says they're only allowed a limited version of U.S. Law Shield. U.S. Law Shield, I think, has come a long way in the last probably 4 or 5 years. And a lot of people are using them now. I want to say it started as Texas Law Shield, did it not? And they went national after that. Is that correct? Am I mistaken about that?
No, I think you're right.
Okay.
I think you're right.
I remember Texas Law Shield. I didn't know if it came first, but I thought it came.
So. And you've got right to bear if you're talking about carry insurance.
Yeah, I was going to say that was
really come on over the last couple of years.
The name of it, but I know you talked to him a couple times. So
yeah.
So yeah. So Gerald, if you're looking for insurance, there's several of them: USCCA, U.S. Law Shield, Right to Bear. Now, if you're looking for actual insurance to cover the value of your collection or whatever. There's obviously companies out there that do that as well. You might even want to just ask your insurance company, and they can at least maybe point you in the right direction. He said homeowners insurance was wanting serial numbers, and I didn't like that. I get that, but I'm going to tell you right now,
you're going to have that with anybody.
That no matter where, I'm sorry, yeah, you're going to have that no matter where you go at this point. Yep. It's the way it is.
Mine wants it on major household items and stuff. They want things like that. So anything that I don't remember the dollar amount, but anything that, trying to think of something like it would be a washer or a dryer. Maybe if you had a very expensive television or, antique things. I mean, they want pictures, they want documentation of it for sure.
Yeah. As far, yeah, I mean, that's to save them. That's a business practice. That's not anything going against gun people. That has nothing to do with gun people. That is an insurance policy, and that's almost probably across the board, no matter who you get any insurance with. It's just like getting your car insurance. They're going to want the VIN number. I mean, that's just the way it is. So,
well, yeah, think about it. You could have some old beater guns, right? That and maybe they've got a different serial number or whatever. You go buy some junkers. Well, if they're in a fire, you would never know. So if you wanted to commit fraud or something, there you go.
Yeah.
And serial numbers.
Not saying that we are telling you that's a good idea to commit insurance fraud.
No. And that's my point. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
That's what it's there.
I want to make sure that he understood that.
Because there are yahoos that would attempt that crap. And serial numbers don't burn off in a house fire, just so you know.
No, it's going to take, well, if it's a high point, it will, but that's about it. I think the high points burn tolerance is a little bit less than most. But, yeah.
Is the plate the serial numbers on?
No, it's not.
That's the question. I don't think it is.
No, we're talking the.
That's all that would be left. Now, let's be honest.
This is true.
If it in the Glock, you would have the little serial number tags, and that would be all. But
absolutely. All right. You guys know that every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday. Golly, I swear to you, yesterday I asked my wife what day it was. I honest to God did not know what day it was yesterday. I was like, "What day is it?" She goes, "It's Wednesday." I was like, "Okay." So I'm out of it. Sorry, I should be asleep right now, but I'm not. But every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday we have our Ghost Tactical polls presented by our good friends over at Anderson Manufacturing. We call them very loving and endearing. Call them the pony polls. The pony polls. Let's check out last week's pony polls from Monday, which was Memorial Day. We'll talk about that in a second. 1.2 thousand votes. What's the best way to celebrate Memorial Day? And I put go to the lake or beach, whatever. Go somewhere on the water. Having a cookout, attending a memorial ceremony, going to a parade, or other. Columbus, let's start with you. Best way to, in your eyes, the best way to celebrate Memorial Day.
We were pretty boring this year. We stayed home and cooked out.
Yeah. A lot of people worked like I did, so that's a way to spend it too. I should have put work. So yeah. Cookouts, you can't go wrong with a cookout, man. There's something about a cookout that's kind of like an American thing, man. It's just kind of like an American thing. Yeah, full show. Clover, anything for you? How did you celebrate Memorial Day?
Pretty much didn't.
Okay.
It was boring, but out of that choice, it would definitely be a cookout.
Yeah. Ginger, what about you?
I worked and then I watched the Coca-Cola 600, so I'm gonna put other, even though it's normally not.
You're saying watch a race?
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend.
Well, that's also what Indy 500 weekend. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was Indy 500, Monte Carlo, and the Coca-Cola 600 all weekend. So it was a good motorsports weekend.
Okay. I don't know if there's such a thing as a good motorsports weekend, but no, I've never gotten into people turning left all day. It's just me. Maybe it's just me, but I've never understood why people can one of my best friends who's passed away, but in the Marine Corps, he was from Indianapolis, and they would spend his whole life. They went to Indy 500, but I guess it's called Race Week or Indy Week or something. They've got races and different stuff every day the week prior to it, and that like the whole town shut down for the entire week. And I was like, I don't get that. Like, I don't understand that, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. Let's go back. 1.2 thousand votes. 43%, in my opinion, were correct. That said have a cookout. 32% said attending a Memorial Day ceremony. 12% said go to the lake or beach or go to the water somehow, some way. 8% was other, and 4% was going to a parade. Now, I told you we were going to talk about this a minute ago, and a couple of comments were on there. You don't celebrate Memorial Day. That's disrespecting the memory of the heroes. And I am the biggest advocate to make sure that every year I always do my little sermon, and it pisses people off about have fun, but remember why we're able to do this. Now, what I say is being somber and not celebrating our country and Memorial Day is a slap in the face to our heroes. They died for you to be able to live your life, to be able to be with your family and friends, to be able to be free, to be able to celebrate things like this. They did that so that you could do that. So I am under the impression in my life that if you don't celebrate somehow, be with family and friends, do something, then that's disrespectful. I think that our fallen heroes would want us to celebrate their lives, but celebrate by being free. And so that's me. So if you're out there and you think it's a somber day and you shouldn't be happy, hey, that's on you. And that's how you choose to do it. But man,
but if you want me to be free, can I be free doing whatever it is I want to do?
That's what I'm saying. If you want to do that, you can. But I personally, I think that the best way to memorialize our heroes is to be free and enjoy life, enjoy the freedoms that we have, and in this country, and enjoy life, being around family and friends, celebrating this life that we're allowed to live in this country. So that's just me. I understand the sentiment that some people were saying is we want to remember, but you can remember by raising a glass or, having a toast or, playing taps in the morning or whatever. There's all different ways you can do it. But for me, I just think it's important that however you want to say, and maybe being somber is celebrating to some people, I guess. I don't know. But, I like to have fun in my life, and people that know me know that I rarely get somber. So it is what it is. Our next poll was, I guess it was Saturday, and this is a big disclaimer in all of that. Assuming you're not Clover Tack, how do you spend your day off? Because we know that every day's a day off for Clover. His whole life's a day off. So assuming you're not Clover Tack, how would you like to spend your normal days off? Ginger, how do you spend your days off typically? The answers are mowing the lawn, doing absolutely nothing, spending time with family and friends like outside, working on the car, or other.
Most of the time it's mowing the lawn, spending time with the wife, or just being lazy. It really is.
Well, you're saying yes to all of those. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it's hard
I mean,
to
that's
pick
what
one.
it is, isn't it? Like we have a combination of about 4 or 5 things we had to do on days off. You got to get the lawn mowed. You got to spend time with the wife. You got to do nothing. So yeah, well, I get it. Christopher Columbus. See what I did there? You see what I did there, Christopher Columbus? Yes.
Well, up until a couple years ago,
not just the pretty face. Just saying.
Up until a couple years ago, I'd say I'd spend my day off laying around the house being lazy. But now it seems like all I'm doing is every time I get a day off, I'm out filming, getting something done here on YouTube. So that's pretty much how I spend my days off now.
Welcome to the dark side. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. Okay, Clover.
Screw you. I'm exempt. You said it in the question.
All right. So let's do this with you. How does your wife spend a day off?
Oh,
Coddling you?
She answered in the comments.
I know she did. By the way, I will go read this comment real quick. It was pretty classic.
It's accurate.
It is. But Arminthia says, I tend to have a high maintenance spouse on my days off. So she recognizes that.
Bougie, baby, bougie.
Something like that. Yeah. When you were not retired, how would you take a day off?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even remember. Like it was probably hunting or fishing, I'm sure.
Okay. That's a good, I didn't even think about going fishing. That would have been a great answer, going fishing. Now that would be a great answer for people in the South. Up north, they'd be like, going fishing. The hell? So, yeah. 50% out there said doing nothing. That's my favorite thing to do. Doing nothing. Then again,
I do way too much of that.
Yeah, I only had like 13 days off all last year, and 6 of them were for SHOT Show. So that tells you something. I really don't know what to do with the day off. I actually don't like days off, to be honest with you. I know it sounds crazy. It's weird. I'm a workaholic. Like, I actually enjoy being at work more than at home. So maybe that's just weird, but that's just me. 50% say do nothing. 28% say spend time with family and friends outside. 10% say other. 7% say mowing the lawn. 5% say working on the car. I instead of working on the car, I should have said like going fishing or something like that. I think that probably would have done better than 5%, but it is what it is. Our final question was last Thursday, 1.4 thousand votes. Which of these is the coolest gun? You've got the Coffee Mill Sharps, the Krumlauf assault rifle, also known as the STG-44, the Velo Dog revolver, or the 3-gauge kiln gun. I'm going to start with Clover on this one. You like some weird ass guns. Of those, do you have a favorite? Or if not, what's the weirdest gun that the coolest weird gun that you like? He's taking a day off. Chris, what about
it? Was
there you go. Never mind.
Read me. What was the
Let's see.
What was the question and the options? The weirdest.
So basically, you were absolutely not paying attention. It's okay.
Absolutely
it's okay.
Not paying attention.
Which of these is the
Did
coolest?
Chris's light just blink up there? Maybe not. Maybe I'm going crazy.
I don't know.
Nah, I'm seeing crap where you were earlier.
Nah, I'm telling you, I think it's something with StreamYard, bro. I don't know. The coolest weird gun or the weirdest cool gun, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
The Coffee Mill Sharps, the Krumlauf assault rifle, the STG-44,
yeah.
the Velo Dog revolver, or the 3-gauge kiln gun.
Man, probably the Coffee Mill.
Coffee Mill.
Yeah, I knew the Velo Dog would be up there, but Coffee Mill.
The Velo Dog is a cool gun. If you're not familiar, the Velo Dog, it wasn't just one. It was a series, but they were like, I think they're Belgium. Were they Belgium or French or Belgian? I don't remember. But they're like the first like kind of pocket guns. They had like the folding trigger and it was kind of like really small. Like, I don't know, it was just kind of a cool little concept back, 150 years ago, something like that. Kind of a cool little concept. But yeah, I knew the Velo Dog's kind of a cool one. The coffee is the Coffee Mill Sharps is pretty cool. Have you seen a picture of the Krumlauf, the STG-44? Have you ever seen that gun? It's weird, dude. It is straight up weird. So yeah. So you're picking the Coffee Mill Sharps.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Chris, what about you? Of those four?
I had to look a lot of these up when I saw this one. The STG-44 looks like it's pretty fun to shoot.
It's just a weird looking thing, man, you know. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. It's kind of like, to me, like if you had an AK that like Superman like bent the barrel, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of what it reminds me of, just by looking at it, you know. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird gun. Weird gun. Ginger, what about you? Can you hear me?
I seen him unmute, but I didn't hear him.
I lost sound. I lost sound. Can you guys hear me now? I lost sound for a little bit.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. The Coffee Mill Sharps, the Krumloff, the Velo Dog revolver, or the 3-gauge kiln gun. Which one's the coolest weird gun?
It's hard to say. I like the Coffee Mill Sharps because it was just dumb and cool at the same time. But the STG's got to be like iconic and everything. It's just it was the start of it all.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Thanks, Clove. Don't need to know that, but thank you for the info. Appreciate it. Let's see here. 1.4 thousand votes. 57% say the STG. 21% say the Coffee Mills. 14 the kiln gun, and the Velo Dog comes in at 8%, which I am relatively shocked about that. Relatively shocked, but yeah, those are the pony polls for the week. Go check out our good friends over at Anderson Manufacturing, AndersonManufacturing.com. They put out today, and Kyle couldn't make it. He's got some family stuff with kiddo and all that. He's probably going to jump in the after chat, but do you guys see the new Cerakote project for this month over at Anderson? It's called the Sandstorm, and it's kind of like the old chocolate chip cookie camo pattern from the 90s, the desert camo. It is gorgeous. So go check out that. The Cerakote project of the month is Sandstorm. Fantastic.
He missed a big opportunity to play Sandstorm in the ad. I'm just saying. He could have played Sandstorm. I would have danced to it.
Everyone knows that song. Like, they may not know anything about it, but they know that. If you hear that every football and basketball game in the world, you know.
Man, that is sharp.
Isn't that sweet? That looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, buddy.
And don't forget to tag Anderson with hashtag PonyExpress 2024.
Yep. In every post, I don't care if it's about Anderson or not. In every post that you make, hashtag Pony Express 2024.
Yeah, somebody sent me a document, a classified document on that they claim they found in a dumpster somewhere in Kentucky. I'm just saying.
Saying.
I'm thinking about releasing it, but I don't know. I don't know how that would affect my journalistic standards if I did that.
Standards? The hell are you talking about?
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah. Your POMA card means about as much to some people around that know you that like a white privilege card does. That's just what it is.
Yeah, white privilege comes in handy, though.
It does. Have you seen that Matt Rife thing where the guy gives him a legit white privilege card? And of course, he was in Alabama when he did it. It's awesome. Guys, a legit white privilege card. And the funny thing is it's sold on Instagram for $13. The ironic thing about $13 is I'm pretty sure it's not ironic. I think it's exactly for us with the 13th Amendment. And then, but the guy that sells them is a black guy. And I think that is amazing. He is getting his reparations by selling white privilege cards on Instagram. Fantastic. I love all of the irony built in there. It's just beautiful.
God bless America. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Seriously. Where else are you going to do that? Are you able to do that?
Exactly. Absolutely. We do have a super chat out there from Mandatory Carry. I appreciate you. You guys know we don't ask, nor do we encourage them, but all super chats do go spending money to send care packages downrange and all that. So thank you very much. He says Slipped in right through the nap alarm. Thank you, Boomer. Keep fighting. Always keep fighting. Always keep fighting. So tonight, we're going to talk optics. We had an optic chat, I don't know, a few months ago, but this could be a little bit different. I want to do this, and we're going to start this out by Marcus out there. He says, first question, on illuminated optics, do you guys prefer red or green? I'm assuming he's talking about red dots. And do you prefer red or green? Also, what do you think you guys make the best optic under 400? So let's go through the room and start talking about this. I will say this, that I've always been a red dot guy. When the green dots start coming out, I didn't really like them. One of the reasons why a lot of the ranges that I shoot at around here are very wooded and the backdrop is all trees and all that. And so the red dot actually stands out better in the green tree background than a green dot does. But if I didn't have like that backdrop all the time, I really have come to like a green dot. I just wish that most of my range days I didn't have green trees in the is the backdrop. Not that you can't see it, but that red actually does stick out better. Chris, we'll start with you. Red dot or green dot?
I'm the same way you are, because the range that I do the majority of my shooting at is the backstop is just all trees and grass. And I will say one thing about, I think green dots are a better option for someone who has really bad astigmatism. I think it helps. I know, like Swamp Fox, because he had also said something about under $400, and Swamp Fox does a really good job with their green dots.
Yeah.
But yeah, I prefer red, even though I do have astigmatism. I would almost rather deal with a little bit of the starbursting versus, because the green dots, like you said, especially here in Ohio in the spring and summer, everything's green, so you kind of lose it sometimes.
Have you had a lot of time with prism scopes?
I have. It's funny you brought that up, because
I don't have astigmatism, so I don't know. But from what I understand from a lot of people that do, they say that prism scopes seem to be the best for people with astigmatism. I won't get your opinion on that.
Yeah, they are, because you've got, you basically have a reticle in there, so you do not have to have any illumination on.
Yeah, you have that etched reticle, yeah.
But my issue with the prism is then you got to deal with eye relief, where with a red dot, you don't have to deal with that. That red dot can be as far away from you as you want, as close to you. But with a prism, you're still stuck with eye relief. And
okay, see, I wouldn't do well with that. Obviously, with different scopes, you have eye relief, but that's one of the reasons why I do enjoy dots a lot. Is I don't like being right up. I like having I can be able to see more. So yeah, but yeah, I was just wondering because, like I said, there is a lot of people that say that prisms are the best, but I wasn't sure what your thoughts were. I didn't know you had astigmatism, so when you said that, I was like, well, let's get his opinion also.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, is like a lighted reticle in a scope or a prism, you're not going to have the brightness like you have with a red dot or a green dot. So you got to factor that into. On a bright sunny day, the lighted reticle doesn't really do you much good anyway. But that's my biggest. Prism scopes are awesome. The glass, even on the budget ones, is crystal clear. I mean, but you're dealing with that eye relief, and I think people make a mistake thinking they can use a prism like they use a red dot, and that's not the case, because you've got to get that scope within your eye relief box, or you're going to get the same fisheye effect and everything you get with a scope. So
yeah,
pros and cons.
Now, having an astigmatism, do you have issues using high-powered scopes, like long-range shooting scopes, or you have any issues with that at all?
No, the only thing I ever notice it on is like a red dot. Like if I'm using a circle dot, it's always just a dot. Like the circle, Outside of that dot,
The
does it
circle
normally
doesn't have
starburst?
a burst? Is it no burst on the circle, just the dot itself?
For me,
Wow, interesting.
and it's only certain dots. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't have a real bad case of it like some people do, but there have been dots before that I've got them out of the box, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do anything with this because
Is there a correlation to the size of the dot? What MOA it is?
Oh, like a 3 MOA, 4 MOA, something like that.
Yeah, I tend to like 3 MOA. Kind of just gets me across the board where I want to be. Yeah, I've had 6 MOA dots that starburst pretty bad on me.
Yeah.
A lot of times I can alleviate it too just by turning the brightness down a little bit, but it's always there just a little bit. But I've talked to people that, they got it bad, a lot worse than I do, and they can't even use a red dot. So,
right. Yeah, no, I get it. Clove, let's talk red dots first off. Red dot versus green dot. Do you have a preference?
Green. And I'm in the woods a lot, and I go green.
Okay, so yeah, in East Texas, you're surrounded by woods, but you don't have an issue.
It's bright
now,
enough it stands out.
When you're shooting your dots on the range, you have a backdrop that's not trees and woods. So, but when you go out and you're hunting and all of that, your backdrop is a bunch of trees and all that. You have zero time picking that reticle up. Are you good?
I don't think I've ever hunted with a dot.
Okay.
So now if you're talking about illumination in a scope, very rarely do I use illumination in a scope at all. If it's dark enough that I've got to use that, it's probably too dark to take a shot anyway. My opinion on that. And if I'm in night, I'm running thermal, so it doesn't matter.
Well, you know what I mean? It's fancy. I know. I hear you.
I'm just saying.
I'm just joking. No. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Now let me back up. There was a time when I had no night vision.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
There was a time when I had no night vision. I had no thermal, and I used lights. Right. Yeah. That's kind of how I started. And green, I like the green reticle illumination then too.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: is it the color? The color just is more pleasing to you than red, I guess.
It's easier on the eyes. It's quicker for me to pick up. Okay. And like I said, I think it's weird that when you were like, "Yeah, I don't like it because of the
I like it a lot more, but I still prefer red. Yeah,
right." And then Chris comes in and talks about the astigmatism, and there's no right or wrong answer for this. I mean, everybody's eyes are different.
This is all personal preference, 100%.
Yeah, some people may look at it and may not even be green to their eyes. It may be
some people. I remember, you guys remember this, I think it was 2018, 2019, 2018, 2017, maybe. I don't know. Holosun was just coming out, and they came out with like the yellowish orange reticle. And I remember asking, I don't remember if it was an amber. Yeah, but I'm not smart enough to say amber.
Well, that's been around a long time because I've kind of.
But Holosun came out with one, and I remember, and that was when Holosun was kind of like young, and they were still trying to make their mark and all that. I think it was maybe NRA Dallas. Was that 2018?
I think.
Don't quote me on that. I think so. I remember walking up to him, and I was like, "Look, like." Is there a reasoning behind the amber reticle? And the guy that I talked to, I don't remember who it was a long time ago, literally said that they came up with that because, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it sounds true. I've got friends that are colorblind, and they kind of confirmed this. They said that of all the colors, the one color that most every colorblind person can pick up is yellow. And so they did that so that the people that are colorblind would actually be able to pick up the reticle because it was yellow. That for some reason, most people that are colorblind can all pick up yellow, which I think is kind of interesting. So there you go for that. So if you're colorblind, maybe an amber or the yellow reticle or dot or whatever it might work for you. I don't know. I'm not colorblind either. Any of you guys are, obviously none of you are colorblind, are you? Ginger might be because redheads are weird.
You probably got accused of it at NRA, but
I think we all might have, let's be honest. Except for John. John was wearing like neon orange golf shirt, and he was like literally like the most toned down dresser of the crew.
It's the great
for
pumpkin,
sure.
The great pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
That's right. Ginger, do you prefer red or green dot?
I prefer red. I've been testing the green crosshair reticle from Swamp Fox, which I found I don't like that crosshair reticle, and it'll probably end up with you at some point because I'm not a fan of that crosshair.
I'll test it out. Here's the thing though, and we'll talk about this because before we go on to the best optic 400, which is the second part, there's another question he sent about what kind of reticles do we like. And I think that ties in more to this specific conversation. We'll talk favorite brands here in a little bit. It's weird you say that because there are some crosshair reticles that I really, really enjoy. Most of them I do. Some of them I don't. Here's the thing though. Most Christmas tree reticles I don't particularly like, but some I think are cool as hell. So I can't really say all Christmas tree I hate and all crosshairs I love, but in generally, like it's just weird. Isn't it weird though? Like some people have a different take on a Christmas tree or a different take.
So are we talking?
I'm not a big ACOG guy either, but some of them look really cool. Go ahead.
Are we talking sights now, or are we are still, or are we on scopes now?
No. What he was saying is he's got one that he doesn't necessarily like the reticle on.
I've got sights that will switch reticles.
Yeah. I've got sights that will shoot them too, but change them too. But like some of them that are just like a crosshair type thing, or a lot of scopes will have the Christmas tree. And I don't want to sit there and say, I'll never shoot a scope with the Christmas tree, because there are some scopes with Christmas trees that the reticle actually does please my eye. For me, like Christmas tree it's just too much. Like I'm not smart enough to it. I don't know. Anyways, I cut you off. Sorry, John.
No, I found that the green is easier to pick up, but I'm more comfortable with the red. And maybe it's just the reticle that is on there. And I know that they say that green is better in low light compared to the red. Maybe it's opposite. It's one of the two. One's better in low light. It's easier to pick up.
I've always thought that the red was better in low light because you can turn it all the way down to like the number 1, and it still kind of pops. But it's not going to take over. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to take over that optic or anything. But once again, you have to understand also is like I've always used red, so I guess that's something I'm comfortable with. I've always enjoyed it. Green is growing on me. For low light though, I think for me personally, I'd probably go with a red because I can, if it has the variable brightness, I can shut that all the way down. If it doesn't have like the variable brightness setting where it is what it is, I honestly I probably would go with green because a bright red dot or reticle at night can really overpower your sight picture,
Well, yeah, and I found like for rifles, red is probably the best. I like reticle doesn't matter on a rifle, but on pistol, like for some reason I'm not really enjoying that. But I will say this is I saw the funniest meme the other day because people were bringing up iron sights. If you're running iron sights on your pistol, you are gun Amish. I'm just putting that out. New term, gun Amish.
You better say that again. What'd you say? You're right, but I want to hear you from your voice again.
If you are running just iron sights, you are considered gun Amish now.
On what?
On a pistol.
Like a handgun pistol or AR pistol?
Handgun. We'll call it handgun.
Whatever.
That's my strike of the night.
These young people, they get me. Crack me up.
Got rid of that real quick, didn't we?
God.
That dude just said you are gun Amish. Man. Let's see if he tries to get back in. My God, that dude did he just say we're gun Amish, Clover?
Guess he did.
I'm going to say that. I'm going to wear that proudly. Like I'm not an optic guy in handguns.
Well, I know Amish people, they got some pretty tight beards going. So maybe some truth to that.
Now, Daniel, God is my judge, says, I'm going to open a can of whoop ass on that kid.
I was waiting. I was like, yeah, Daniel's going to be the first one.
That was my one joke of the night. I'm sorry to everybody I just offended.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm not anti-optic. I'm not anti-optic on pistols at all. I just don't particularly like them. And I've said this many, many times before. The one thing, I mean, obviously, once you get used to it and all of that, I think, yes, it's probably good for competition. Sure, I see the benefit. I will say this. I've said this a lot of times before. The one great thing about a dot on a pistol is it's going to make you basically present the gun the same way every single time. Because if you don't, you're going to be your head or your hand, so you're gonna be moving to find that dot. So it's gonna force you to present it consistently, which I guess for mechanics and muscle memory is not a bad thing. For me, I don't know, and I love dots. You guys know I'm a big red dot. Not on a pistol. I haven't been converted yet. I haven't been. How should I put this? I haven't been convinced yet. I will allow the guns and optics to continue to try to change my mind. I've got a couple with them. It's just not for me. Just not for me. I know Clover is a an Amish brother of mine. Chris, pistols. I know you run a lot of optics, but I mean, do you prefer an optic, or is that just something that you've kind of gotten used to?
No, 100% prefer carry everything with an optic. But I have nothing against iron sights. It's just when I started using pistol dots, it was game over. Like I'm like, this is all I'm gonna do.
How long have you been running dots on your pistols, if you don't mind me asking?
5 years now.
5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it? Am I weird, or was it like really weird for you when you started shooting dots on pistols? Was it natural? You enjoyed it right off the bat? You enjoyed the look of that sight picture right off the bat, or did you have to grow into that?
Oh yeah, I had to grow into it. I couldn't tell you how many times I'd pull up and like, where's my dot? You know, you're sitting here doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me now it's all optics now.
Daniel says, so Ghost, what you're saying, you will never see hood rats using a dot? I don't even know where that, I don't, did I miss something? I don't know. Mike out there says he's seen glass shattered in people's faces from shooting red dots on pistols at competitions. I shot a lot of competitions in my life. I've never seen an optic blow up in someone's eye. Not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying I've never seen that. Have you, Chris?
No.
I've
seen them.
Heard of that.
Them fly off in a competition, but they didn't break.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that. That's crazy, man. That's nuts. Wow, crazy talk, I say. All right, let me go back over here. Bearded Guy says, Ghost, do the Marines use the ACOG? I don't know if they're still using the ACOG. They did for the longest time. Ironically, like when I was in, we during boot camp and combat training and all of that, we were never issued an optic at all. We did everything iron sights. We qualified, even when we qualified like in the fleet, we qualified all the way out to the 500-yard qualification. Irons only. We weren't allowed. Now we were given ACOGs and stuff for for qualification purposes. We were never allowed to use an optic. We always were iron sights. Now
that's less you could break. Well, come on now.
Absolutely. And we're notorious. Like if you want something broken, the Marines. I mean, that's
right.
What we're for, right? But now, and I don't remember when it started. I would say probably after 9/11 or something. I know that like when they're issued their rifle in boot camp, like it's got an ACOG on it. So like they're learning, like I learned to shoot in the Marines. Like I didn't shoot prior to going to the Marine Corps. So I learned to shoot from the Marines and obviously through iron sights. That said, there's a lot of Marines that have probably never shot and they're learning immediately how to shoot from an ACOG, which I don't agree with. I think that you have to maybe earn that ACOG. I think you give them like we did. We got them for certain things, but get them when you get to the fleet. I think they should go through boot camp and combat training without an optic, or at least through boot camp. And if you'll get to combat training, give them an ACOG then, or an optic or whatever. I'm not a big fan of learning how to shoot relying on a dot. That's just me, or a reticle or an optic of any kind. But that's just me. But I do believe for the longest time they did. To answer your question, I don't know if they are still using ACOGs. I'm sure they're using some kind of optic, and I would imagine that they probably are still using ACOGs. But I don't know. I don't know that. I could not give you a definite answer on that. Yeah. So I wish I could answer you better. I could probably find out for you, bro. But I don't want to give you anything because I don't exactly know what they're using right now and all that. All right. Next question. Optic wise, how about reticles? What are your favorites? We talked about that already. Or do we talk reticles? No, we just talked about color and all that. All right, so let's start with this one. Clover, straight up reticles. Not talking dots or just an optic of some kind. When you talk about reticles,
like a scope,
scope. Or I mean, is a red dot your favorite, or do you like a Christmas tree? Do you like the cross? You know, if you had a choice to look inside at a certain reticle for the rest of your life, like, do you have a favorite kind of reticle?
Yeah. So for a scope, let's just say a magnified optic.
Sure.
Because I want to take pistols and red dots and that sort of thing out.
Separately, yeah. Sure.
I'm a mil dot guy, so I do like some type of mil dots.
Yep.
That being said, the configuration, I don't like it too busy. The Christmas tree stuff annoys the bejesus out of me, and to an extent, even some of the BDC reticles annoy the bejesus out of me. They're just too busy.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And if you're, I don't know, for like a competition setting or something like that, I could see it. For some type of real world engagement, be that force on force military, or be it, hunting, like you want to be able to see through the reticle at what you're shooting at. Like you want to be able to see down range, and I don't want all that crap covering it. Now, deviating from the mil dot, and even some have mil dots, I like the 30-30, the 30-30 duplex. So, and one of the reasons I like that, and that's whether, some of them, they omit the top post, some of them omit the side post, and it's just a bottom 30-30. But either way, and if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about out there, you've got a really thick post, and then the rest of the crosshair is a little thin line, right? So the thin lines are 30 inches at 100 yards. If everything is sighted in properly, right? Yep. So you've got a quick reference point, at least some type of a quick reference point to figure size of your target, to judge distance, right? Other things, right? Mm-hmm. And again, that's why I like mil dot is, if I've got everything dialed in and I know what it is, I can use those dots to range if I know what the size of something is down range, roughly what it is, right? And the 30-30 reticle in a hunting scenario, because they've been popular for many, many decades in the hunting world, achieves the same purpose ultimately.
Yeah.
I'm basic is what I'm saying. I don't need all the craziness.
No, I get it. I'm similar in a lot of ways. Now Calaveras out there says mil dot or Christian. He says that he seems to agree with Clover. Well, of course you do. He's your hero, bro. So, let's see here. I saw something. I want to start so I don't forget it. Sorry. There you go. Sorry. Ginger, reticle type. Maybe not color, but reticle type. Do you have a preference?
For long range shooting, bolt rifle or lever gun, I guess if you put it hunting wise, mil dot, definitely mil dot reticle, with no Christmas tree, just the standard mills.
The mills, crosshair, the circle in the middle type thing.
Yeah, preferably with that. And I don't know if this falls under reticle, but kind of does. Is the first focal plane. So when you zoom in, the reticle zooms with it. For ARs, for LPVO, kind of what's the best way to describe it? The horseshoe with the popsicle stick. If that did everybody understand what I'm saying? With the horseshoe on the top with the popsicle stick.
Yeah.
So that for LPVO, I prefer that, and for
that's you talking about like the BDC reticle?
Yeah, that's sorry. Yeah, that's the right term for it. It's a BDC reticle.
Yeah.
For like Prism, the ACOG style point triangle reticle. For rifle dots, I don't mind a dot, but I also like the EOTech crosshair, but I don't like the EOTech crosshair style on pistol dot. And that's the dot that I have now that I don't like. For some reason on pistol, it just takes way too much space up in that optic window. But yeah, I think I covered them all.
So pistol dots. Did you say what MOA you like? Are you a 3 MOA guy or what?
3 or 6.
6, really?
Yeah, bigger dot. I mean, if it's
real estate up.
Oh, I gotta have less than 5. I got for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everyone's different. For me, that's just like maybe it was just the dot itself that just took up too much of the window for me. But I don't know. Hey, I'm surprised to hear that.
A 6 is 6 inches at 100 yards, and like I can't deal with that. Like holy crap! What I'm shooting, especially on a rifle, because what I'm shooting on is much more capable than 6 inches at 100 yards. Odds are, and like I want to know where I'm at within that 6 inches.
If for the 6 MOA, I'm thinking more of like when I run a 6 MOA dot, it's more for concealed carry. And I'm thinking most of my stuff
close range,
up close.
For close range, non-accurate, and rapid fire. Yes, I would. I get your point. That. I still wouldn't want anything below 5, but I get your point. Yeah.
I think most of my dots now are 3 MOA. But I've run 6 MOA for like a concealed carry, and I find to like it because it just covers the target.
Yeah, for me, but see, that's the thing and that's the great thing about everyone's different. They like different things in their eyesight, in their sight picture, and all that. For me, like I don't want the dot to cover up my target. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my preference. Which is kind of interesting because I mean, once again, that's why they have all these different options that you can have to look at different things.
You can do, and it's something I've seen done. I've seen a 6 o'clock hold. I've seen people sight in at a 6 o'clock hold before.
Well, if you're talking like excess sights, that's kind of what the excess sight system is, like the big fat jumbo thing they have that came out a few years back. You remember the old excess, the big dot in the front sight? That's basically with that dot, what you had to do. The front sight was a big old circle, and it was damn near a 6 o'clock hold. I mean, same kind of principle, I guess,
And maybe that's why I liked it, because I ran those excess sights for a while. And I just found to like it.
It's so funny. The excess sights I like the looks of them. I mean, I had the bright orange with like the green like in the middle, but that bright orange big ass dot there in the front sight, I liked it because you pick it up, but it does get some used to look at it like but yeah, it's what it is. Columbus reticles. Do you have a favorite reticle?
Well, the majority of the shooting I'm doing using LPVOs, I like a very simple BDC reticle.
Yeah.
But when I was down at dead zero, when we were shooting out to 1,000 yards, I became a real big fan of mil dot. Real quick doing that, but for most of the shooting I do, I just like something simple. And as much as I hate to say it, because I'm not a Vortex fan at all, I love the simple BDC reticle they used in their Strike Eagle LPVOs.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, just I'm like you, Ghost. I just need something simple when it comes to a reticle.
You know, you better watch out. You start shaming Vortex out there. Mike might have to come visit you.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I've had to send way too many of them back for.
I don't mind. I just think there's so much better out there.
Oh yeah, they're so far behind in everybody else when it comes to their scopes and their red dots. The red dots they're way behind on red dots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For me, I kind of like that you guys are saying for like a high, I wouldn't say high powered, but just a magnified optic for like my long range and all that. I'm a very simple mil dot guy. I'm a very simple, good God. Yeah. I'm a very simple mil dot guy. For LPVOs, I do enjoy a BDC. For LPVOs. Now, I will also say that I want a second focal plane in my LPVO. Now for this, absolutely first focal plane. When you zoom in, you try to get to 1,000 yards. You want all of that but for like an LPVO, I'm 100% a second focal plane on that. I don't want to see that thing grow. I just it's right there. That's just me. Now, for dots, my preference is a circle dot. I love a circle dot. I've been shooting circle dots because I really am a big fan of EOTech. And I've got several EOTechs, and I've had them for a long time. And I think that's where I fell in love with the holograph, but it's a circle dot basically. So if I have a dot or something that has multiple different reticles, like a dot, circle dot, the small crosshair, I will always choose a circle dot if I have in a a 1X red dot or whatever. If I have an opportunity, I will go circle. I love a circle dot. For me, ACOG, they're talking about the ACOG, the ACSS reticle. Once again, I don't dislike it, but the ACSS is a lot like, to me, like a Christmas tree as far as the busyness of it. I'm a very simple eyesight person. I don't want too much. I think that I'm not going to utilize a lot of that, and for me, it's just too much. I want to put something on a target and I want to pull the trigger. I don't want to. Now, do they help in a battlefield thing? That you can go out from, out to 200 or 300 yards and utilize the reticle for the Chris tree or the ACSS sight to help to where you don't have to worry about a zero. You can kind of just hold. Absolutely. For me, that's why I use a 36-yard zero, though. On my AR and my battle rifles, I'm going 36-yard zero, so I don't have to worry about having those notches on. Hey, you can hold here for 300 yards. You can hold here for whatever. I know with that rifle, from 0 to 300 yards, if I aim center chest, it's going to hit within 6 inches of where I aimed, and that's still going to take care of that threat. I don't have to worry about holds high or low. It's just literally put it there and I'm good. But that's why I love the 36-yard zero. But that's just me. Let's see here. Great. Marcus, man, you're on freaking fire tonight, dude. I love it because I love talking optics, right? I'm an optic. I could talk optics all the time. For CQB, do you guys like open reflex sights? To me, it doesn't matter. And I'm sure I've talked about that. I'll go through the room here in a second, but I'm sure I've talked about this for a while. When I'm rolling CQB, I'm not looking through my optic. That's just me. When I'm rolling CQB, I've got an optic on there. It's either going to be EOTech or a dot or something, but my eyesight is going right on top, right over my optic. That way I'm not focused on an optic. When you're doing CQB, you need your peripherals. You need to be focused on all of that. And let's be honest, in CQB, let's is, oh my God. Did it do it again for you guys?
Yeah,
is it back. Just me? Was it me or was it everybody?
I didn't see anything, but
that was weird. It just like went like, you remember the old 80s, like the different colored bar on your TV set? That's what it looked like on all three of y'all's stuff. Maybe it's my connection, but I've got fiber optic. I don't know. Anyways, for CQB, I'm going right on top of the optic. You need your peripherals. You need to be able to see everything that's going on in front of you. And let's be honest, the longest shot, if you're talking like CQB, like a room clearing or clearing a building or a house, whatever, the longest shot you're probably going to have to worry about is probably about 30 feet. And let's be honest, if you're rolling an AR, either rifle or pistol or whatever, even a handgun, and at 30 feet, you can't point and shoot. And you don't have to be like maybe dead center, but you should be able to hit your silhouette target and all of that, point and shoot at 30 feet. Just saying. So for CQB, I'm not going to run, or I'm not going to be focused through my optic. I'm going right over it. That way I can do whatever I need to do. Because for me, any of you guys have CQB experience? And if so, what do you guys, if I do like an open reflex sight, I'm sorry, I should answer the question. I do like open reflex sights a lot. And if I had a dedicated like AR pistol or SBR or something, and I was still in the Corps and I was able to put it wherever I wanted on there, like an SBR, I'd probably run about a 10.5 300 blackout with a reflex sight. That's just me. Because once again, I'm not going to use it, but that's also not taking up a big real hunk of real estate on top of that rifle or whatever you want to call it. So that would be me. Okay, so let's go back down through the panel. CQB reflex sight, or what kind of sight would you run in CQB if it's not reflex? Let's start with Ginger on this one.
Now with, in the past, yes, I've normally run like a standard dot, but the size of the closed emitter dots now that are coming out, especially like the Swamp Fox Kraken and all those fit really nice, and they don't take up a lot of real estate, and they're just protected. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that kind of style just I seem to like that a little bit more, that closed emitter stuff.
I get it. Yeah. Chris, what about you? CQB stuff.
I mean, for me, CQB is not something that I really do much with. But for USPSA shooting, I'm always using my dot. So I would assume I would probably do the same thing in CQB, just because I'm so used to engaging targets at close range right through the glass, on my optic.
Yeah. Now, that said, most handgun pistol dots are a small, scaled down version of basically an open reflex sight. So do you enjoy on like an AR? Do you enjoy like the normal size open reflex sight, or you go enclosed circle, like a closed dot?
No, I mean, when I first started shooting competition, I would only use the Holosun 510C because of the bigger window. But now I tend to just use like a simple, 1x20 or something.
There you go.
That's really all I need.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like what John was saying too about the enclosed emitter dots, or the Holosun 509T is probably still one of my all-time favorite dots. And you just don't have to worry about all that debris and stuff getting down on that emitter now. So yeah, they're coming a long way now with the enclosed emitters on these dots.
Absolutely. Clove, CQB. I always laugh because saying CQB with Clover, that's kind of funny.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about, carbine, right, or whatever, we're talking about, PCC or whatever it might be. And I'm forced to choose an optic or
Correct.
because I probably wouldn't. I would just,
there's a lot of caveats to this question,
kind of
but
an open side. But if you're talking flat top rails on, say, an AR platform, you got to have something, right? I'm probably going to go with a 1 to whatever LPVO with a lighted center.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
And
like
I mean, it's going to be
1 to 8 somewhere in there.
Well, the top end magnification is just going to depend
It
on
doesn't matter
what else.
Yeah.
It's going to depend on what else I use that rifle for. My point is, I can crank it down to 1, and you're almost point shooting at that point anyway. When you throw it up, you're going to catch the dot. You're going to be in the general area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, you're not talking about having an additional optic or switching out if you go out to hunt or varmints on the back 40 or whatever it might be. You know what I mean? You can crank it up into 4 power or 6 power or whatever you need to do and get after it.
I'm not sure, Mike. What would you rate them? How many stars? You talk Vortex, like in general, or like specific ones? If I had to rate Vortex, I mean, I'm going to give them a solid 3. To be honest with you, they're not bad. They're not great, but they're definitely not bad. They're a solid 3. They're a solid 3. But yeah. There's another one I just saw. Christian out there says, what brand do you recommend for a handgun or PCC? For me, I've always been a big Bushnell guy. I've got more Bushnell probably than any other kind of optics or dots of any other brand. I've always been a Bushnell. That probably comes from being a golf guy, and Bushnell was like huge in the golf world. So I've always trusted Bushnell. I do appreciate the Swamp. I'll get a couple Swamp Fox. I do appreciate that. As much as I hate to say this, there are 2 brands that I would recommend, and I'm gonna let you guys at least piggyback on this comment also. But there are 2 brands, and I would say this for specific dots. Okay, it's Holosun and SIG, and I say that because they're 2 companies that they're not going anywhere. Okay, they're in it. But those are the 2 that I enjoy because they have the Shake Awake / the Shake Awake technology, and then Holosun still even has like the solar recharging. Don't care about that. Don't care about that whatsoever. I think if you're going to run a PCC and you're going to utilize it for a truck gun or home defense or whatever, I think the Shake Awake technology is 100% crucial, because if it's 3:00 in the morning and you can hear someone banging through that door or breaking that window coming in, and you're going to use an AR pistol or whatever, you're going to use something with a dot, the last thing you're going to be thinking about is turning that damn thing on. So the Shake Awake technology for me is one of the biggest things for home defense, self-defense, whatever you want to call it, that has happened the last few years, where they've actually mastered it to where it actually works now. And I'm not saying those are the only 2 companies. Those are the 2 companies that I personally have the Shake Awake technology that I don't ever worry about. I know that when I pick that rifle up, you don't have to shake it, but like as soon as it picks up movement, that dot's on. So as soon as you pick it off the ground, by the time you get it to your shoulder, it's there. So I would if you're going to utilize a PCC or a handgun for a home defense, vehicle, self-defense, whatever, I would recommend whatever you go get, to have a shake awake dot on there. If you're going to run a dot, have shake awake technology. That way you're never going to have to worry about it. And if you don't get shake awake technology, it sounds crazy. Just don't turn it off. Period. Leave it on. Yeah. Some of these things will have up to 50,000 hours of on it, and all that. So here's the thing. You don't ever turn your dot off. Once a month, just check it, look at it, make sure it's still on. If not, you know what? Those 3023 or 3032 batteries or whatever the hell they're taking, they can get 10 of them for like $2.
Amazon a 20 pack, and literally figure out, does it last 2 weeks? Does it last 3 weeks? And then if it lasts 4 weeks, then buy you a 20 pack, and every 3 weeks, set your alarm on your phone to change your battery.
You change your battery. So if you're not going to get shake awake, I would just say keep the damn thing on at all times. Sorry. You guys, hey, I don't want to get call on you guys. Chris, I was going to say.
I wanted to piggyback off that too. And I agree with you 100%. Shake awake's awesome. You also need to look into, like, if you're getting a dot that goes right back to the setting you set it on. Because when you're out during the day, let's say if you're like if your carry gun's your nightstand gun, and during the day you've got that brightness turned up to 7 or 8, turn that thing down before you go to bed, because when you wake right up and your eyes are opening and you got that dot turned up to 7 or 8, you ain't gonna see shit out of that thing.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
It's also going to save battery a little bit.
What's that now?
Being turned down at night, it's going to save battery a little bit.
Save battery, absolutely. 100%. But yeah, I just think that having that on without having to worry about turning it on, whether you just keep it on or you have shake awake, I think is crucial. Ginger, do you have a brand to recommend? Like I said, there's a lot of great brands out there, but if you're looking at shake awake, for me, I think that the Sig Romeo line and the Holosun have kind of gotten to the point that shake awake technology is reliable. But you guys might have other ones. Are there other brands that you would recommend for a PCC?
I mean, Holosun, I do. So Swamp Fox's shake awake technology has come a long way.
I have not used a Swamp Fox. In my defense, I haven't used a Swamp Fox Shake Awake. I have a couple of them, but I've never used a Shake Awake. It might be great.
I've used the Kraken and then their new Liberty. I believe it's it's got the Shake Awake on it, which has been great. And I've got the Holosun EPS, their new closed emitter dot. I love that Shake Awake works perfectly. Now, I did have the battery die on me relatively quickly, and I don't know if it was because it was in my backpack constantly shaking awake, or if it was when we were traveling to and from the range. That battery didn't last that long. Now,
let me ask you this: when it was shake awake, were you on like the highest setting to where it might have been on like 7 or 8, and every time it came on, it was on 7 or 8, because that will drain it quicker. The 50,000 hours they boast is like on 1 power,
Well, and I think really what it was, and I don't know on this one because I haven't played with it enough. I did a lot of testing with it, but I haven't got into the settings and figured it out. I wonder if it was because we were going from shake awake, and because it was auto adjusting from being in a holster to out in the light.
Those things are 100% draining battery. Now, we're also talking, was this in Arizona?
Yes.
Let's be honest, 110-degree weather also does not help battery life.
No, it does not. And, there's that. I did find when I took a class with the Vortex Venom that it didn't have shake awake, but when you fired, the dot turned back on, which is weird to me because it should, like, we had a part of the class where you were shooting just through the glass. If the dot died, you're just seeing how you did. And I fired and the dot came back on. I kept telling the instructor, I have no idea what's going on. This thing is not supposed to turn on auto. And it just kept turning on auto while we were shooting. So there's that. I mean, there's a number. The other one that I really like, and I haven't had a chance to test it, but I've become good friends with the owner, is Adaball. and their optics. In talking to him, and the quality that goes behind it, I think they're also a good contender for like an optic for a PCC in particular. I haven't really seen their pistol optics yet. I mean, if you go cheap, Right On is kind of stepping up the game, but again, they change ownership like I change my socks sometimes. So those are all valid companies. I mean, you also have your higher end like your EOTech and your Trigicon and things like that. But I actually haven't messed with the SIG optic, so I can't really say anything on that.
It was one of those things where this was like last year. I think it was like last year, 2 years ago, maybe. I don't remember. Optic Planet, someone over there sent me an email saying, hey, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to work with you, do some work. Anything in particular, here's a list of what we're looking to send out to people. Any of these interest you? And one of them was the SIG. And honestly, God, I don't remember which one it is, but it's one of their SIG little dots that shake awake. And I said, yeah, I'd love to mess with a shake awake. I want to see if SIG shake awake is getting better and how it works. So they sent it to me, and I was very, very surprised. I actually, I'm not going to lie, I like the looks of it more than a Holosun. Now, I think the Holosun that I have is a Shakewake plus the solar recharge, which I think is honestly the best way to go if you can't afford it. It's not overly pricey, but I mean, it's going to be a little bit more than your standard Holosun dot. I think that's the way to go. But I was really, really surprised. The Shake Awake for the SIG is solid. It's very, how do I put this? Sensitive. Like, it doesn't take much. Like, if it moves just like a little bit, it comes on. So it's not one of those things that you've got to make a forceful move. And some of these Shake Awakes that I've seen, I'm not going to say the brands because it's not important, but some of these older technology Shake Awakes, original technology Shake Awakes, you had to like literally shake it, or it had to get this drastic movement for that dot to come on. This SIG, like, if you just did that, it's coming on. So I was impressed. I'm not saying, and you guys know I'm not a SIG guy. I don't like SIG. But there's two things that SIG has put out in the last several years that I'm enjoying. The Shake Awake dot, and I tell you what, their ammo is not bad. I'm very pleasantly surprised with their ammo, especially that V Crown for a carry ammo. You can get it for the same price you can for like most, FMJ ammo. It's pretty damn good. So kudos for SIG. I just don't like their guns, I guess. I don't know.
Has anyone experienced, since we're talking about pistol dots and PCC dots, has anyone else experienced like the issue where if your optic starts coming loose, it doesn't turn back on because the battery compartment's not compressed? Because I've had that when the battery compartment's in the bottom, like the Trigicon style.
Okay.
When the battery compartment's in the bottom, like there's a couple companies out there who copied that, where the battery compartment's in the bottom, it's held together.
That's just dumb to me, but okay.
But it holds it.
Yes.
I've had it where we were shooting, and even with Loctite on the screw, sometimes it comes loose if you shoot enough rounds through it. When the optic came loose, I lost the dot completely because that battery's not
on at all.
No, the dot wouldn't come on at all because there's not enough pressure on that battery to hold it in place. And I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but I found that to be a weird issue that I've run into. Or maybe I'm not tightening my optic down tight enough.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I don't care if you're using Loctite or not. You shoot something enough in the right weather conditions, especially, things can get loose. And like you said, it doesn't have to come off. It just has to be just a little bit to relieve that pressure plate, if you will. But I do not have any experience with that, Chris.
The Vortex Viper was notorious for that. If that dot started to get a little loose on that slide, it would lose contact. So yeah, you're right, John.
Don't say that. He doesn't need to hear that. He's right.
Well, It's not like it's a big deal, but it's annoying, is what it is. It's because it is a kind of a big deal.
It could be a huge deal
right.
if it goes off if it does at the wrong time, if you don't know that your dot or your optic is a little loose on that rail and you have to use it in that God forbid situation and your dot doesn't come on and you don't realize why, that's a huge deal. It could be a huge deal. Yeah. Chris Clover, anybody have any issues with any other shake awake technology brands that you guys recommend or anything? I know Chris, you brought up with the Swamp Fox. They've gotten a lot better. I haven't used it yet, but any others that you come to mind that might be a good, like maybe entry level, if you will? I
carried that Sentinel from Swamp Fox on my 365 XL for 2 years, and that I would only change that battery once a year, and it was auto dimming and it was shake awake. It's always on. I think for a carry gun, the Swamp Fox Sentinel is one of the best carry optics there is.
There you go.
I wish that Sentinel 2 would hurry up and come out, because when it does, I'm going to buy it.
That's been for a while, hadn't it? And that's been something they've been talking about for a long time.
Yeah, I did.
When it was out, to be honest with you, I didn't know it wasn't out yet. It's been out for a while.
I saw it at SHOT Show, and then I did an interview with them again at NRAM and did an interview about it. And still not available to buy it yet.
Wonder what that means. I don't know. Yeah. Interesting.
I know that I think they're having a lot of personnel issues over there. I think
there's a lot of that going on everywhere right now, especially in the summertime. This is getting ready to start the quote unquote slow time in the industry. So it is what it is. Clove, want to bring you in.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I know that this isn't something you're typically
on shake awake, especially. I don't know.
Yeah, but just in general, like a PCC. We talked about a lot about, but maybe something that might be like an entry level, like not saying entry level like bad, but something that's not top end, but are still pretty solid. I will always go like if we're not going shake wake, I'm always going to talk like Bushnell. I'm a huge Bushnell guy. I think you can get Bushnells for good prices.
Yeah, you can get Sightmark. You can get even cheaper.
Yep, absolutely.
And their stuff in the last several years, the early gen stuff was, man, it was Chinesium to the max. Absolutely horrible. But they've actually come a long way over the last, I would say, probably 5 years or so, 4 or 5 years for sure. So if you're looking, straight up entry level now, that's more going to be a PCC. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to think. I couldn't even tell you if they even make anything that's like for RMR cut, blah, 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 like that. I don't even know. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know if
they probably do. They probably do. Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah.
They would almost have to be in that game at this point.
Well, at this point, if you're not, then you're screwing yourself.
Yeah.
I've run one of the Sightmarks on a SIG 322 which is I think it's a RMSC cut on that, and it's decent. I wouldn't, if you're looking to get into a carry optic, I would say yes on that one.
Yeah, if you've got to go budget, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about this one. Marcus, man, it's on fire tonight. Which do you guys prefer, red dot and a magnifier, or a dedicated adjustable magnified, like an LPVO or something? I'm assuming we're talking like for, let's just say 300 yards and in, because that's what I would probably use my AR. I wouldn't go, if I go 300 or 400 yards beyond that, I'm going like a normal scope. So for like a one MOA, something like that, like my EOTech here. I don't know if you guys can see all of this stuff. Let me show you this real quick. Let me just put this on the solo real quick. On my battle rifle, I run an EOTech with a 3x magnifier right there. So I don't run the 3x magnifier hardly ever, but it's on there for specific reasons. And I hope that God never have to use them for specific reasons, but I enjoy that if I'm going to use an EOTech. Now, over the last several years, I have become a fan. I've got 4 or 5 of them now of the LPVOs, and my favorite is actually a 1-8. I enjoy 1-8. I think it's from Monstrum. Actually, it's either Monstrum or Swamp Fox. I can't remember which one, but the 1-8 is my favorite. An 8 you can get out there pretty good, but if I'm going to run, I don't mind. Answer your question, I do not mind a 3x magnifier if I'm running an EOTech. I do not like 3x magnifiers if I'm just running a simple dot or whatever. If it's going to be a simple dot or something, I'll probably go LPVO, which is the light power variable optic. It's going to have all of that. So I like both of them. The answer is I like both of them. I'd probably say now I would prefer an LPVO, but I do love my EOTech. So if I run EOTech, I'll have a 3x magnifier on there. I'll start with Clover on this one. Magnifier or LPVO? Because I know you've kind of gotten some LPVOs lately also.
So that's misleading. I've told you. LPVOs existed long before they were called LPVOs.
I understand that, but
let me go to the magnifier
recently. Yeah.
I'll make this really simple. I hate a magnifier. I don't understand. It's dumb. If you're going to run a red dot, run a red dot. If you're going to go range, then get a variable higher scope, especially with the prevalence of the LPVOs nowadays. Let's just say. I don't see any reason to have additional things attached that you have to flop and switch and move. And then even if you do flop and switch and move, you don't have any adjustability. It's a straight 3X or no X. And then what's your point of aim, point of impact going to be looking at various distances? And you had no crosshairs to gauge. And it just no. There was a day. It was like back in 1994 or something, but no more with the magnifiers for me. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, homie, like understand that's one of the reasons why I do like the EOTech with the 3X magnifier, because I've been running that for a long time. Yeah, I'm just checking with you.
I know.
And I have grown into the LPVOs the last several years. But yeah, like I said, I could go with both of them. But I do love my EOTech, so I enjoy. I will never put an LPVO on that rifle right there ever. That will always have an EOTech, and I'll always have a 3X just in case. I will probably never use it, but I will have it. But I will never put an LPVO on that one. I'll get LPVOs on rifles all on my wall over here.
When's that wall going to make its appearance? By the way.
So I haven't been able. It not for a while, only because I've got the metal pegboard up still, and eventually, what I want to get is a slat wall instead of the metal pegboard. I want to get like a white slat wall that goes all the way across this wall over here, and like maybe do like an American flag painted on the slat wall. I want that. When I get that done, the guns won't make an appearance, but the wall itself will make an appearance. But right now I still got all of that, which I don't mind the metal pegboard. But I think the slat wall would look kind of cooler. It'd be easier maybe. So it'll make an appearance probably this winter, honestly. Let's be honest. Probably this winter I'll probably get that slat wall done, and it's going to take up the whole wall, which I think would be awesome. It could be a lot of wasted space because I can only reach up a few feet off the ground, so there's a lot of empty space up top without having to get a ladder. So
I get you one of them things like the big libraries use that's got the stairs on the rollers.
Stairs slide, yeah,
that'd be awesome, and put that on there.
Cool.
Yeah.
For me, it would just be like a normal size ladder because I'm that small.
Well, this is true. Yeah, just put it on a furniture dolly. You'll be good.
Absolutely. No. Did I go through the room with Chris and Ginger on the 3X? Okay. Chris, let's go with you. 3X magnifier or LPVO?
I'm going to have to side with Clover on this one. I'm not a fan of magnifiers, and when I get a when I get companies wanting to send me an optic and they want me to do a combo set, I try to be, I try to cater to what they want, but I just don't like them. I think I think it's just, I think you're better off with the 1-6 or 1-8 LPVO if you want to go that route. It's just as easy to throw that magnification lever as it is to kick that magnifier over.
The throw handle, yeah, I get it.
And yeah, I'm just not a fan of them. I think they're heavy. I mean, most magnifiers they're pretty good chunk of weight.
They are.
And you really got to get that eye relief dead on with that magnifier. Yeah, I'm just not a fan.
You know, it's one of those things that I don't disagree with anything you just said there. For argument's sake, we'll just say this. If I wouldn't have been a 3X guy for years ago, and I was just getting into the game now, I probably would never go to a 3X magnifier. I would go straight to an LPVO, because at 3X you're still limited because it's still a 3X magnifier. An LPVO can get you up to 8, 10, whatever. I probably would, if I was getting into that now, I probably would just go straight to the LPVO. I probably never would have gotten into a magnifier. Maybe that's why I'm holding on. You know, I'm holding on to my roots with the circle dot AOTech and the 3X and yeah, I don't know. Ginger, you look like you have something you want to say. That's why I went first, because I was wondering if
I'm gonna say LPVO, because only with the caveat I have not used a magnifier yet, ever.
You're probably not missing much, to be honest with you. Like if you go from a 3X magnifier to an LPVO, like I have, like there's still going to be, if you like the 3X, that's the way that you kind of had it for so long, you're always going to have a special place in your heart. Now, if you go from learning an LPVO going to a 3X magnifier, it's going to be trash. Let's be honest. Now, I think you should try it just to say, but you probably won't like it.
And I will say, like the LPVO, it like Chris said, the throw is easy to get with, but now with that, and I can't, if I could remember who's making it, and if you guys have seen it this week, there's somebody making a 4-end attachment that you just slide back and forth and it adjusts,
like a focus thing on a camera or something.
Yeah, it attaches to the back of the LPVO, and you just slide the thing on your top rail, and it changes the magnification. And if somebody knows who made it, because I can't remember off the top of my head who did it, but there's it literally all it is just sliding back and forth, and that motion just looks weird, but sliding it back and forth to adjust that magnification without having to reach your hand back. Interesting. I wish I could find who made. I was looking it up.
I haven't seen that yet. That could be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, so I saw it was like last Thursday is when people were really talking about it. I can't remember who's making it.
Yeah. If it was this over the past weekend, I hadn't seen shit. So
it was over the past weekend, but it looks cool. It looks interesting. Now, there's some things on it that I saw that probably needs to get updated in Gen 2 that kind of it's pulled by what appears to be paracord, and I feel like if it got caught in something, it might jack up, but I'll have to find it and send it to you just so you can see what I'm talking about.
I'm intrigued. Like, I'm either going to love it or hate it. I think the way you're describing it, and you're a marketing guy, so you're pretty shitty at this. You're supposed to sell thing. No, but I'm either going to love it or hate it, but I'm really intrigued. That could be interesting. I'm assuming all 4 of us in this room have at least one LPVO, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that could be interesting to mess with. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Let's see here. Calaveras out there has a first focal plane Athlon Argus. I love Athlon. My scope for the sniper rifle is Athlon. I can't remember which. It's the HD. I don't know. It's a great one. I really 6 to 24 by 50. Really do enjoy that. Athlon makes some good, really, really good stuff. Monstrum, that's another company I want to talk about. I don't have to deal with Monstrum or anything. I've got several other stuff, and I really do. I think Chris is a great dude. I think Chris, you know Chris as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Everybody here probably knows Chris with Monstrum. It's really solid dude, really solid company. But it's talking about a company that is really trying to maximize bang for the buck. They really are trying to, keep prices down to a manageable level while they're able still to make money as a business, but still give you check out some Monstrum stuff, guys. They really are pretty solid for sure.
Remember, we were looking and I've never gave a lot of thought to Monstrum, and I probably need to with some of the stuff I've got going on now. I need to probably reach out to them. But we were looking the other night, and you remember that flashlight hand stop thing they've got? Holy crap, dude! That was bad to the bone.
You told me it was Monstrum. I was like, oh snap!
Because we were looking at a Chinese knockoff one that was pretty cool, and then I dug down the rabbit hole a little deeper, and I'm like, oh snap! Monstrum makes one that's even better looking.
And I hadn't seen that at SHOT or NRA. I might not have been looking hard enough, but I did not see that.
Well, you don't think to look for a handguard flashlight at
I'm not a hand stop guy to begin with, so I probably, even if I saw it, I wouldn't have looked at it. Pretty cool.
He sent me a package Saturday, and I opened that thing up, and I couldn't believe all the stuff. But he did. He sent me. So they make that hand stop in an angled and a straight. So now, I got both of those.
I could get down with an angled. I'm much more of an angle. I can run an angled. I'm okay with that.
I'm really excited to try out that new Banshee 1 to 10 LPVO. He just sent that. I love working with Chris. He's been great to me. So
yeah, Chris is a good one. Oh, is this what you saw, Ginger? Is this where you saw it? I'm not going to open the link, but I'm assuming that's the link that you were talking about. You just texted me?
Yeah. So it is made by, just say it out here while we're looking at it. Antimatter Industries Scope Switch is what it's called. And it is a adjustable zoom via a slider on the handguard.
That's pretty cool. I'm going to check that out for sure. Definitely check that out. Calaveras out there was talking about the Athlon, and I wanted to bring that up because he said it's the first focal plane. So for optics, I know we may have touched this in the past. First or second focal plane. For me, it's absolutely first focal plane for long distance stuff. I mean, it's if you're not running first focal plane and you're in long range or sniper stuff, you're at a disadvantage. Let's be honest. Anything probably 300 and in, I'm absolutely second focal. We talked about this with your 6.0 MOA, John, earlier. I don't like reticles taking up a large portion of the window, and so especially at enclosed stuff. So I would say anything like an AR down to anything, a PCC and all that, I'm going to run second focal plane if possible. So I want to keep that reticle as small as possible. I can see more through that optic, and then not that reticle just taking up all of it. For long distance, for 100% sure, going first focal plane. But I would say anything inside 300 yards, I'm going to use. I'm a second focal plane guy. Let's start with you on Ginger on this one. You can say long range and other. You can if you have different ones that you like for different reasons, then go ahead, because there might be someone out there that's asking that question for a reason.
So for long range, I do like first focal plane. For LPVO, I have both first and second focal plane, and the reason why is because on my first focal plane and 1 power, it looks like a dot, and then as I zoom in, it brings it up. So normally, if I'm shooting the LPVO, it's within 300 yards, so I don't mind it zooming in that much because I'm only at 3 power at that point. But yeah.
Yep. We're going to come back to LPVOs here in a second because I want to ask a question through this also. Chris, first focal plane, second focal plane, where is your split if you do like both,
So any of my scopes, like 6 to 24, 8 to 32, those I want them all first focal plane when I'm shooting long distance. But LPVO, I have no use for a first focal plane.
Yep.
I'm second focal plane all the way on LPVOs.
Yep. Clove, what about you? He probably wasn't paying attention. He has no idea. He's probably not even here.
I'm here.
Okay.
Talking about, yeah, I'm here. I did forget what the heck you were.
You didn't forget. You never were listening.
Y'all went off the rails there.
I just asked it like 30 seconds ago.
Oh, first focal plane, second focal plane.
Yeah. How about them?
Yes. You know, I'm used to. It's all what you're used to, right? Like I do have first focal plane stuff, and for like target shooting and long range that's not pressing or something, like first focal plane's nice. But I'm used to second focal plane, and especially when you shoot mil dots, you're kind of and even the 30-30 reticles we were talking about earlier. I'm used to what all that looks like at varying levels of magnification and that sort of thing, and so I'm used to the reticle, so I guess what I'm saying is it doesn't bother me. Like it's like I could go either way.
You don't care, yeah.
Yeah, and let me caveat that by saying I don't care, and post focal plane costs more, so it's like
that's
why spend the extra money, right? Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah. That's where I was going with
it. So let me ask you guys this: I don't hunt. I've never been hunting animals. For hunting, would you guys, and obviously it depends on what you're hunting and how far your average shot for hunting is, but in generalities, do you guys prefer first or second focal plane for hunting?
Probably second for me because of the price point. If it's getting drugged through the woods. Now, in the event I get taken on some, one mountainside to another mountainside in Colorado with an elk or something at 800 yards, well, we may start talking
right
focal plane then.
The chance of you having an 800-yard shot in East Texas are slim to none.
Oh, I can get it. Yeah, I can get it. Yeah, I have
you
to
could
go over
to
to
like
family.
Power poles or something, but the average, you got a lot of trees down there.
Yeah. I've got some friends and family that have shots. I mean, readily available. 300 is the max for me. And honestly, unless you're hunting, and I don't hunt any of those places, but unless you're hunting on a high line or a pipeline, you don't have that kind of shot anyway. Not around here.
Right. Did I ask all three of you that?
No.
I'm very smart. So I haven't asked you that?
No.
John doesn't matter though.
First focal plane.
He doesn't even. He wasn't even born when first focal plane was around. Like come out, he wasn't even born yet. Like
that's probably true.
You know what I mean? Like he doesn't know what second focal plane is. We're gonna have to explain it to him. Send him the Wikipedia page on it or something.
Oh yeah.
So when I was deer hunting in Ohio, it was I really did like the first focal point on my LPVO just because where we were at.
Real quick, in Ohio, like deer hunting in Ohio, in your experience, like what was like the max shot that you were having? Was it 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards? Like what was that max shot you took in Ohio for deer hunting?
70 to 100, but you're shooting through brush. So that was that's the thing that's why I liked the first focal plane for that, because where we had our quote unquote kill zone, where the deer would be coming in, we'd have the ability to either shoot out to 100 or we'd let them walk in, and being able to kind of get that reticle exactly where I needed it was great. Now for squirrel hunting, I like that fixed power 4 with the, I guess you would call it second focal plane. It was just easier because cheap 22 with the seer the seer special on it,
Seer spec. Now someone out there said 90% of hunters don't shoot beyond 300 yards. I would say that the vast, I'm not going to put a number on it, I would say the vast majority of hunters don't shoot outside of 100 yards. Let's be honest. Like maybe for big game. Now, once again, not a hunter. Is deer considered a big game hunting, or are you talking like moose and elk and all that to be considered big game? Deer is deer big game or not?
Technically,
in Ohio it is.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm completely ignorant of this.
If anybody who hunted in Ohio told you they took a shot at 300 yards, they don't know how to measure distance. That's really what it comes to. If you in Ohio and in most states where you're hunting deer,
where I'm at, you might have 80 yards max.
Right, you're looking at 80 to maybe 100. And I've had guys tell me, "Oh yeah, I took a 400-yard shot with a Savage 2020 on a deer in Ohio." I'm like, "Where were you?" "Oh, I was at my buddy's cornfield." Okay, so 100-yard cornfield. You took that shot. There's no way you're hitting a deer at 400 yards with a slug gun.
I mean, I'm sure it can be done, but it's not typical. No. So we're all kind of saying longer range stuff, first focal plane, everything else. I think that's a fair thing. Now Calvin was asking what's a true, what did he say? Are there any true LPOs that are true 1X? Yeah. There's a lot of them that have a true 1X. Now, that said, this is just me. I don't know about you guys. I have LPVOs that are 1 to 4, 1 to 6, 1 to 8. I've actually got a 1 to 10 LPVO as well. So I've got them in all magnifications. I find myself with LPVOs, and you guys answer this as well because you all have them. For me, like it's weird. Like the sweet spot for LPVO is like at 2X, 2.5X. Like for me, I don't know why, but when I'm dialing in, like for some reason, and it's a second focal plane, by the way. Most of our second focal planes. For me, at 2 to 2.5X is like the sweet spot. Now you put me the red dot, and I want it a true 1X. But for some reason, LPVOs, I kind of gravitate towards about 2.5. So let me ask you this across the room. Do you keep your LPVOs at a certain magnification, like as a standard, or do you change them for different things? But if you keep them set pretty much the same one, what is your sweet spot magnification? Is it 1, 2, 3? What is that setting of magnification that you kind of seem to find your sweet spot at? Whoever wants to go first, go for it.
I'd say if I grabbed any of mine out of the safe right now, they'd all be probably sitting on about 3.
3? There you go. Yeah. So I'm not the only one that doesn't run them at like a true 1X. Like if you're going to have an LPVO, why the hell are you going to run them on a 1X typically? If you want that, just get on one. Do they really?
Mine stay on 1. Yeah. No. I'm talking about they stay on 1. I'm not talking about I don't dial it up once I break them out and I'm doing something. But they pretty much all stay on 1. The reason is that when I pick them up, I want them to be at a certain place every single time. I don't want to pick them up, throw them about that. Oh, what, and have to fumble to know what magnification I'm on. Because if you'll notice, they've got a neural point halfway. Most of them do. They've got a neural point. If there's a 1 to 4, it'll be at 2. If it's 1 to 8, it'll be at 4. It'll give you that halfway point. And so you could throw it up and you could actually go to 2 power. I only have 1 to 4s. I think all of mine are all 1 to 4s. So I could go to 2 power quickly, or even 3. On the fly once I throw it up because I know it's on 1, right? Or I can dial that before I ever throw it up because I know it's on 1, and I'm not looking for certain things. So it's just me, but
okay. So let me ask you this: so you store yours at 1X,
right?
Do you have? Let's just assume it's a 1 to 4. Do you have a specific magnification in the 1 to 4 that you prefer to actually use it at?
Depends on the range, right?
Okay.
Like I'll stay on 1 depending on the size of the target. Mm-hmm. I'll stay on the 1. I may stay on 1 out to 50 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes, depending on the size of the target, I may go to 4 at 100 yards.
Right. No, I get that.
It's all kind of relative.
It's so weird, and maybe because I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but looking through the LPVO, I seem to my eye seems to like that 2 to 2.5x. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. And it's not that I'm putting it 2x and all that. It's just when I'm zooming in and out, like, and I'm going back and forth, and I'm zeroing and all that. I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. Oh, damn, it's 2x. You know, I don't know. It's weird.
Have you played with a diopter any?
No.
So, yeah, usually that's how you kind of can figure that out. If it looks better at one level, now don't get me wrong. I mean, if it's a cheaper scope or something like that, all bets are off, right? But if it's a nicer, right. And I don't want to say cheaper, but nicer, then definitely if you're having problems now, when you get up into 4, I mean, I get it, right?
Yeah.
Or if you've got 1 to 6 or 1 to 8 or God forbid, like a 6 to 24 or something. Obviously, when you get up into the top 25% of magnification or so, it's gonna start doing that. It's just going to. But if it's acting weird before that, play with go to each setting and play with the diopter adjustment in the end.
No, I'm not talking about it being weird. It's just like I said, it's strange that for me, my LPVOs are all second focal plane, and so my reticle, for some reason, like my sight picture is appealing more. Not that it looks good or more clear, or whatever. To me, I don't know why, but my sight picture looks more appealing to my eye, pleasing to my eye at like 2x or 2.5x for some reason.
So, are you talking the clarity of the reticle, or?
It's just the way it looks through the LPVO. Like for some reason,
what looks the reticle or what you're seeing down right.
What I'm seeing, it looks better at 2x than it does, or 2.5x than it does at 1x.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, I can see clearly on all of them.
Yeah.
But it just fits my eye. Like for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't know. Like I have to wear reading glasses now. So maybe it's because of my eyes are getting old. I don't know. But for some reason, that 2x looks awesome to me.
I get it, but play around. If you've never played around with it, and a lot of people don't, they don't even realize really that that's there. They think it's just, oh, well, that's a screw that holds the lens into the back of the scope. No, that's an adjustment. That's a diopter.
No, I get it.
And if you play with that, like sometimes you can find a sweet spot where it's you get that same effect you're talking about through at least the first 75% or so of your magnifications.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I mean, an LPVO, I'll run it at 2 instead of 1. Like, I don't know why. Just 2 looks better than 1 to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
See, I can't. That screws me up trying to shoot with 2 eyes open, especially. It's like, oh, that hurts.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And 1 is just clean. 1 is cleaner to me for that reason. But you know, here's the thing: if you do have an eyesight issue, and you said you were wearing glasses, right?
I wear reading glasses.
Reading glasses, right? Yeah. So that may actually make
up here. I need reading glasses, like a 1.25. Right. It's not a lot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, if that's a 1.25, and you see better on 2 with 2 eyes open, right? There you go.
That's fair. Maybe that, like I said, that very well could have something to do with it. Yeah. Chris Ginger, did I once again, guys, I'm tired. I'm not very smart. I don't know who I've asked this question to. I think I asked Chris, did I not, about what your go-to magnification is? I think I asked Chris and Clover. Did I ask you, Ginger?
No, but I'll just chime in real quick. It's weird because I'm like you. 1.5 to 2 is a good starting spot, and then 3 is just kind of like the sweet spot. And it's when you're done, I got a follow-up question about red dots I wanted to bring up.
Go for it. Yeah, real quick, because I will forget this. 223 is a quick answer. 223 DMR says, Ghost, you still using a Monstrum LPVO? I've got it right over here, and I'm calling this my Marine build. So it's an AR and 5.56, and the paint scheme is the dress blues. So like the buttstock is white because our dress blues cover is white, jacket's black, pants are blue with the blood stripe on the side. So the hand guard all the way down is blue with red blood stripe on the side of the handguard. Anyways, I'm doing this with all of my buddies that have different products. The buttstock is the new Evolver from Valiant Dynamics, which is it is hands down the best buttstock I've ever used. It's amazing. It turns. It's great. I've got the new Riker grip on that. But yes, on that rifle, I am running that Monstrum because that is my favorite LPVO. The Swamp Fox is great. Bushnell is great. Who else did I have? Swamp Fox. Which one is this? The Arrowhead. Which one was this? Oh, the Swamp Fox Arrowhead. It's a good one. I don't have that on one right now. Obviously, I just got to pull it out from there. But that Monstrum is running on that rifle, so I do enjoy the Monstrum LPVO. I don't remember if it's a 1-4, 1-6, 1-8. I don't remember, but I really do enjoy that Monstrum. Answer your question, yes. Back to you, Ginger.
So at NRA this year, we saw Ruger drop a pistol dot that did not take a battery, and I wanted to get everyone's input because I don't think we brought it up in the past on the show.
I don't remember bringing it up,
but I wanted to get everyone's opinion on: do we see batteryless technology coming to fruition and being a good alternative for a pistol dot?
Was it an etched reticle? Is that what it was? Was etched or what?
I think it was etched with fiber optic. It had that weird spool fiber optic. They're selling them for around 100 credits, but it's weird because it's like a spool of fiber optic right in the center of the plate or of the whatever you call where the battery compartment would be.
I mean, I guess it'll have its purposes. For me personally, if I'm going to run a dot, I'm not a huge etched reticle guy. I'm just not. I don't dislike them. I'm not a huge fan. Not putting them down. A battery less optic, I guess in certain situations it'd be nice to have. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go battery, and it's just the way I am. I like the adjustments that you get with the battery, the different brightness, settings and all that with battery powered stuff. I don't know. I'm not against it. I don't think I'll be buying one. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. And the other thing with it is it's not adjustable. So you can't, it's zeroed right out. They claim it's zeroed right out of the box. But, you look at
myself, I don't want it.
Right. But you look at it, I mean, I think eventually there'll be a place for something like it. But being the first iteration of it, I mean, what about low light? Where are you pulling because all that reticles pulled. The light for the reticles pulled through that fiber optic. So where are you pulling all that stuff from? Yep.
Chris Clover, you guys want to jump in on the new battery-less optics?
Right?
I'm
kind of with you, Ghost. I don't think it's there yet. And I know that dot is only meant to go on the Max 9, so it's kind of a
is that what it is? It's specifically for that firearm?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good luck. Yeah, I didn't know that about it. Can you even take it off that, or is it permanently on?
No, you can take it off. It's just meant to be on the Max 9. It's like I think that's why John said it was zero.
Put it on other guns. It just might not perform like you wanted to. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Weird. Clover?
What?
If anyone's going to vote for it, the FUD will.
What, non-battery?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they can get it right. Like, I'm all for not using batteries, but, it's the same way with people going, the dependency on oil and gasoline. It's like, well, if you can get the other technology right, I don't have a problem with it. But,
True that.
I got to go more than 300 miles on a charge. Hate to luck on that.
Yeah. As far as that goes, I'm gonna say Clover and Chase and I were talking earlier, and this company came up again. Something like the battery-less optic. Everyone's kind of agrees. Hey, if they get the technology right, it could serve a purpose. Being the first one through the door, like Ginger said. Look at Keltec. Okay, we everyone bashed on, but we brought this up. Keltec is responsible for a lot of badass guns as far as work all the time. Not so much. What the hell is going on?
You're okay.
Yeah, it flashes those. I don't know if it's just me or I don't know if everyone else has seen it, but it looks like those old TV like rainbow bars. I don't know. It's very strange. I've been using the last few weeks. I've been using Fire. Was it? What is it? Firefox, and maybe that's it. I should go back to using Chrome probably. Anyways, I think there's something to be said about being the first one through the door, taking that chance. But I mean, like it's kind of like when like there's a new model of car. Would you rather have the last model of the old series or the first model of the new series? I'll take the last model of the old series because they've perfected that series by then. They've perfected, and there's really not a whole lot, but they've kind of perfected red dots these days. Like this is the golden age of dots, especially on pistols. Now you're saying, hey, let's be different and just throw a different kind of battery. And that's great, but like I want to wait till version 3 or 4 before I even think about that. That's just me. Do I have any more others starred? I think we finally got through them all. It's pretty good. Damn, 2 hours and 11 minutes. I didn't know it was that long. It's a good conversation. All right, we're gonna start sweeping the floor. Chris, I want to bring you in and let you get a chance to plug your own show, plug any videos, any projects you got coming up. What do you got coming up?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on tonight. It's an absolutely great conversation. I love talking optics. I
always love inviting people that I enjoy talking to. I'll always send friends of mine the link.
Well, I had a great time. I've got I'm really excited about next week's show, the Wednesday night live chat at 9 Eastern. We're having Freedom Crew University coming on, so we're gonna have Marine Gun Builder on.
Good. Is Rogue coming on?
Yep, Jason's coming on.
I hadn't seen Jason forever, man. Yeah. I hadn't seen him since SHOT Show, but I hadn't talked to him in like about a month or two.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. I got a lot more videos coming out with the new Gerson that I just picked up. The MCP 35 Ops. I've already done the 500 round review on it. I can't quit shooting that gun. I absolutely love it. So. Yeah, I got a lot of fun stuff coming up, and thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Always, my brother. Always. I tell you what, and I'm going to say this out there that are watching. If most of the people that watch this live and are all that, they know who you are. There's a lot of people. I get most of this done on the podcast side, so there are a lot of people that may not know who Chris from the 740 is. If you're into watching YouTube stuff, go check him out. I want to say this. I'm not trying to be weird or anything, but like of all the people that I've met in the last several years, like I am really glad I got to know you, bro. You're a very solid human being. You work your tail off, and I'm really proud of what you're doing and how you're going about it. There's a lot of people that have come around the last couple of years and gotten into the game and all of that, and I question their motive. I question their work ethic. I question a lot about it. Is what it is. That's just my personal opinion. I've never questioned your motives. I've never questioned your work ethic, and I've never questioned your why. So I'm really glad that we become friends. And you guys out there that are watching or listening to this, and you haven't checked out Chris from the 740, please go do that because he's a really, really solid dude, and I'm glad to be a friend of yours, bro. Like, that's all seriousness. I don't get mushy very often, but I'm very proud to know you.
And look at the beard game, man. Look at the beard game.
Legit. Let's just be honest. And by the way, he's a big ass dude. All right. Like, I know I'm not big. I'm small, but he's a big ass dude. Like, he's a big dude, but he's got a heart of gold. He's a big old teddy bear once you get to know him, which I'm proud to know you, buddy. So thanks for coming on. I really
thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Ginger, well, I shouldn't say that way. What organization will you be plugging this week? I didn't want to say who you plugging. Might not have come out well. We might.
Then.
I think we all know the answer to that question.
Well, Chase isn't there right now, so you're not going to go listen to Pink Floyd outside of some freaking weird Asian restaurant watching a screen.
One time that happened.
All it takes, my man. It's all it takes.
Like always, I am plugging Southeastern Guide Dog. Again, it's a nonprofit charity that gives guide dogs to veterans for free, covers the food and vet care for the life of the dog, and once that dog retires, gives the vet a new dog, and that's with PTSD, blindness, anything like that. So we've got another event coming up in July. Once I get the details, I'll be plugging that in to get everything going.
Have you had any feedback now that we're a couple weeks removed from it? Like, have you heard any numbers? Like, was the last one, was it successful?
Last one, we were able to sponsor a complete dog, so that was $25,000.
Really? Yep. That's huge. Yeah,
so
people realize this is it's not like it's a couple grand. It's a big investment. That's amazing. That's incredible.
So $25,000 on that one. So that event went really well. So they're going to be doing another one sometime in July, somewhere in Ohio. Still looking for donations and stuff for that. So we'll get that once I get that. And as always, we are here to do our guerrilla marketing campaign to get Anderson to release the Pony Express. So again, if you go and see any Anderson posts or anything, or just message Anderson directly, just say hashtag Pony Express 2024. Again, that is hashtag Pony Express 2024 on all your Instagram posts. Let's pressure Anderson to make the Pony Express. Again, like Clover said, there were some hidden documents found somewhere in Hebron, Kentucky over the weekend. We don't know where they came from, but we are making this happen. Come on.
We suspect. And we don't know where in Kentucky, but we suspect it's a Waffle House.
Waffle House might be too classy, bro. I'm just saying.
Well, there was some syrup I think it was syrup stains on the documents.
I know it was sticky, but are you sure it was syrup, homie?
Well, hey, my anonymous source is telling me this, right? Like what he does in the privacy of his own thing, whatever.
We do not judge. Go check out AndersonManufacturing.com. The Sandstorm is their Cerakote of the month. It is pretty freaking badass. Whether you're posting about Anderson or not, if you're posting about the baseball College World Series, the tournament, the regional start this weekend, hashtag Pony Express 2024. If you're taking yourself a picture of what you ate this morning and putting on Facebook, hashtag Pony Express 2024. Let's make this happen. Let's make this happen.
It looks like we have an uneducated who is unaware of what this whole grassroots campaign is.
Educate people what the Pony Express is.
So the Pony Express is because Anderson's logo is a horse. The Pony Express is a side-by-side, double barrel, choked 3.5 inch chamber.
Basically,
double trigger.
That's a must.
Double trigger coach gun called the Pony Express by Anderson Manufacturing. Just because I brought it up in one podcast and it was the greatest idea I've ever had.
It's seriously, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't like giving you credit at all, John. You know that. I love you, but I don't. That was seriously the best thing that's ever come out of your mouth was the Pony Express. I'm like, oh my god, like he legit. He legit just came up with the greatest gun Anderson could ever do. And they'd sell a shit ton of them for no other reason because it's called the Pony Express. That would be so badass. He doesn't get it. It means he didn't get the Waffle House joke, not the Pony Express thing.
All that's inside.
That's all that's inside, brother. Sorry. But yeah. Clover, if you were gonna do something, what might that be?
I do stuff a couple days a week.
Stuff and things, as Snob says.
Yeah. The Tech 9 video earlier.
It did.
Definitely got to go check out some Tech 9, baby. You don't see Tech 9s much anymore. And
nope.
there may be a reason why, and you may be able to find out if you watch that video. I'm just saying. No, that was a fun. I enjoyed filming. I had enjoyed a video a while.
Not every gun that we enjoy shooting is a great gun. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm just saying, I enjoy doing videos. I think we wouldn't do this if we didn't, right? And we enjoy being on a range and pulling triggers and other things. But sometimes you do a video and you're like, man, I just enjoyed doing that video. And it's like, I enjoyed pulling that trigger. And like everything about filming that, like, regardless of how it actually ended up, I enjoyed. So hopefully other people do too. But yeah, that's all, honestly, man. A couple of video drops a week, a few shorts here and there until the podcast season kicks off again later on this year.
Sunday night, this coming Sunday at 8 Central.
Oh, we do. Is that this week?
Is this week, yeah.
Oh,
wow. The next episode of the Ghost and Clover, I think it's what, episode 7 or is it 8? I think it's 7, maybe 8. I don't remember.
I think it may be 7.
I think it might be.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Ghost and Clover podcast, Sunday night, 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
And if you want to waste your time, you've got 6 to catch up on.
Specific time for you weirdos out there,
right? If they want to waste their time, they've got 6 to catch up on.
They do.
And then you might get the inside jokes. I'm just saying.
Then you might get the inside jokes. This is true. Mandatory. He's my favorite weirdo. Like, and I tell him, like, you're freaking weird, dude. Like, you're not all. I worry about him sometimes. I don't think, he lives in a padded room house, but he's my favorite weirdo. And I'll say this: he's incredibly loyal, and ultimately, that's awesome. So thank you. You're my favorite weirdo, Mandatory. So yeah. For us, we've got a video coming out Monday that I'm not allowed to discuss until Monday. I have to sign an NDA with it. That said, be looking out Monday. We got a pretty cool, not only on top of the firearm itself being pretty cool, we had some fun with this video. So I think you will enjoy the video and all that. But check that one out. Obviously, the Ghost and Clover podcast Sunday night. Check out Chris's podcast next Wednesday. And I just got a text from my buddy Lance off the X. He's chilling in the hotel. He's at work, obviously, listening live. I am so sorry, bro. If you guys are still here 2 hours and 22 at 222, wow, interesting. You're not getting your money back. You're not getting his time back. So you might as well just sit back and enjoy the train wreck. So
223, hurry up and end it.
It is 223. Yeah. So we're gonna get out of here. 223-6. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Anyways, you guys have a great weekend. I'm glad you guys hopefully had a safe and an enjoyable Memorial Day. And we'll see you next week. Semper Fi.